Hey, what's going on? I got an awesome story for you guys this morning. It's actually not in the morning, but anyway, this afternoon. Um, in real estate, especially if you want to be a good investor, you can never stop learning. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm always learning. You just have to, because the more you learn, the more money you can make, the more professional you can be, and more successful you can be. Learning is really important, and how I've learned over the years is a lot of the trial and error, school of hard knocks, all that stuff, but also listening to the stories of other seasoned investors, what they've been through, colleagues of mine, people that I met, taken out to lunch, overheard, that kind of thing, right? And so I'll tell you a really awesome way to make some extra money, and a lot of money actually, in your real estate investing. I talk about land a lot because land is my goodness, there's so much money to be made there, and it's really free. I mean, if you know what you're doing, you can double, triple your profits in one real estate deal. It's amazing. Okay, it's all because of how you structure the deal and what you know. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story that's really awesome, and this story I'm telling you is not unique, just not unique to me. Okay, it's not because I won the lottery. These situations are abundant all throughout the United States. Okay, now check it out. So I bought this house. There's an REO that I came across the other day. It was and it was on the river. Literally, it was the lot was on the river. Okay, and it was this, riverfront property and so forth. And so it needed a rehab and so forth. Rehab is for another video. But suffice to say, the numbers worked. It was a pretty big gut job. But anyways, the deal itself worked. Does that make sense? The numbers worked, everything else. I was making a good profit. Okay, so I bought the property. Well, when I got the property, and part of due diligence is something you need to be doing too. Okay, this due diligence is really critical in this. I got the plat. Okay, the plat of the property in the area. No, for those of you who need to know what that is, you need to. You should not be in real estate if you don't understand what a plat map is. Essentially, it's a map of the legal description of the property. Okay, it's got a parcel number. As I say, this length of this boundary line is 273 feet by 122 feet. You know what I'm saying? So if you see how it is, okay, and it's based on the legal description. Again, a parcel number is associated to that. Okay, and how do you get those? That's why it's really important, and we talk about this a lot. You really need to engender a good working relationship, professional relationship with a title company. Okay, it's really important. They got all that information for you, just an email away, a phone call away. I could be out in the field and I'm looking at something. I just make an email or a call, and I get an email right back with the plat right there. It's awesome. And there might be some software too you could access. The title companies help you out with. But suffice to say, you need to get that. And if you don't have a title company, you need to. If you're back east, you have closing attorneys. You need to develop that relationship to get that. But this video isn't about how to get a good closing attorney or title company or plat map. So that's for another video. But I got this plat map. You need to get it. And also I got the aerial. Okay, the aerial is essentially an area like Google Earth, get a view, right, of the Earth satellite of the lot with the parcel number on it. So what's important about this is you can see exactly where the house is in relation to the property line, things like that. Okay. So this deal had 2 houses on it, and like I said, it was around the river. But here's the deal. Okay, this is the point. This is the money right here. So I'm looking at this deal, and the money as it was, just as is, buy the house, rehab it, sell it, is a home run. Okay, no problem. But here's the money. This is crazy awesome. Okay, this is really cool. Here's what happened. Okay, when I was looking at this property, I noticed on the river's doing this, right? Rivers, they're not near, right? They're moving, right? The river is this property is abutted to the river, but the river was kind of doing this, right? So in other words, from the plat map, the aerial plat, there's a line of like the property line, and then there was like this extra no man's land, and then the river, right? And it was considerably big, right? So I looked at this, and so essentially, after talking with my guys on title, and I got a surveyor involved. That's another video talking about how important a good surveyor is. There's a difference. You want to write this down if you're interested. This is really good. Okay, there's a difference in property lines on the river, essentially, between they call it the high water mark of the river and the meandering line. You follow me? Meandering line is, you know, how the river goes, and it gets surveyed. Okay, in this particular case, this river was surveyed prior to the Civil War, 1850s, 60s, or something, right? And the river was doing this, and so that they had the meandering line. The high water mark is essentially how high the water goes from this meandering line. Okay. Well, as you can tell, a lot has changed since 1860. Okay, we've got a Civil War, we've got 2 world wars, Vietnam, and all those great things. Okay, all right, a lot of things have happened, including the river. Okay, the river's changed. They dammed it and this and that, right? A lot. You get what I'm saying, right? So there's a big difference between this meandering line, which is what the mean of the river, the middle of the river, and the high water mark. It's changed. It's substantially. Okay, so the point I'm trying to say is this: I notice a discrepancy between the high water mark, okay, which is what the property line was, and the way the meandering line of the river. I mean, there's just a big difference between the actual river and the high water mark. Okay, there's like a lot of, there's like an acre. The point is, there's like an acre of land there. You understand the value of this? I bought this one house on the river with 1 acre, but I realized there is a whole acre unaccounted for because of that's the difference between meandering line and the high water mark. Okay, so I got my surveyor down there, and I got the water resources guy from the state. I said, hey man, there's a discrepancy here. I want to see if we can get some of this land. State came down, brought the surveyor down, he surveyed it, and he realized that the old survey from the 1860s or 50s, well, yeah, 50s or something, maybe it's earlier, was really, the river changed. And no one, recently had done this, okay? So my point is this, lads, this is crazy, okay? Because I had my surveyor go there, they redid it, and they found there's another acre of land, essentially, between the actual river and my property line. I got that. So all of a sudden, instead of having half an acre, or 1 acre, sorry, I got 2 acres, the price of 1, right? Double the value of the property. I got 2 acres on the river. You know what I'm saying? See the power of this? Okay. And so it's because I knew the survey and I got the land guy. And so essentially what they did is they resurveyed it, and we re-recorded it, and I got double the value. And I doubled my profit, because I mean that's an extra 100, I don't know, 80, 100 grand for that lot. So that these kinds of things, this isn't magic. This is just stuff you can do if you know. Okay, so this is important. If you ever buy a property on the creek, on the river, whatever, okay, and look at that difference. If there's some like no man's land, I'm not saying there is, I don't know, but it's a case by case basis. Presupposes wisdom, right? Walk of wisdom. Wisdom's important. Okay, go into these deals with both eyes open, because there's so much money to be made. Don't leave money on the table. You work too hard to leave money on the table. I used to, okay? I don't do it anymore because I know better. That's why I do these videos, so you guys can learn, okay? So remember this. There's a difference between the meandering line and the high water mark sometimes. All the time. Depends on when it was surveyed, but look into that. You owe it to yourself. A lot of money. I mean, imagine for a moment if you doubled your profit. Instead of you do a wholesale deal and you make, 10 grand, you're excited about it. But if you do what I just told you, instead of making 10 grand on the deal, you wholesale the lot, the free lot you just got for an extra, $50,000 to $100,000. How about that? That would change your life, right? And these kinds of strategies are just there if you know what you're doing, okay? So listen, get any questions, you need some help, call me up. Number's down here. I'm here to help you. And, keep the hustle up. This is a great market to be in. And, always learn. Always be willing to learn. Always be humble. Listen to what other people have to say. There's a lot of good advice out there, and certainly a lot of bad advice, but walk in wisdom, be wise, all right? Cheers, and I'll talk to you in the next video.